Hello, everyone. Jesse Garcia here to show you the dotloop and Zipi integration and to give you a little bit of overview and oversight of what the Zipi application is and what it can do to really help and support your dotloop customers. So this is set up on YouTube, so you can see if you see a right chat box there. Feel free to please ask any questions. Engage if you want me to repeat something, slow down, ask something specific. Please use the chat. We have someone monitoring the chat as well, so that way if you have questions, we want to get to them as fast as possible, and we want to be very respectful of your time. So this is only going to take, say, 15 or 20 minutes, and then we'll be around for follow-up questions if you need to, and we'll give you all of our contact information. So really quick, again, my name is Jesse Garcia. I'm the CEO of Zipi, a business planning and tracking platform that is phenomenal for real estate businesses, teams, brokers, and coaches. So let me dive into the system, and I'm going to go over the system at a very high level first off. So that way you can kind of get a really good idea of what Zipi is, and then we'll move on and spend most of the time on the Zipi dotloop integration. So again, there's a chat box on the right. If you have any questions, please let me know. So I'm going to log into our demo account here. And right away, you're going to see a dashboard, which is incredibly customizable. It is a dashboard built with widgets, and I'll kind of come back to this here in a moment. I'm going to pinpoint out some of the key features of Zipi and why this really is beneficial for any real estate agent, business owner, team member, brokerage, and the benefits of that. So first off, we're going to start with the commission profile. And it's important to us to make sure that all of our clients are getting paid incredibly accurately with their commission checks. So once they first sign on to the system, whether you're the broker setting it up or an agent that just wants to use this on their own, they can put in their split, whether they're on a split model, a capping model. They put in their anniversary date. If they have a royalty, they can put in their royalty percentage. If that royalty is based on sale price, they can change that, which is really great for a lot of the RE/MAX franchise models. And then do you have a cap on that royalty anniversary date? One thing from a financial forecasting standpoint that our system really loves to do is we want to encourage everybody using the system to budget for business expenses and for taxes. Excuse me. So this obviously does not take the money out of their account or redistribute their commission check. What this does is it just gives them a very clear visualization of the amount of money and percentage budgeted that should come out of each check and put into, say, a separate tax account or to reinvest back into their business for operating expenses. So once their commission profile set up, it's great. Now, a few other things, users and permissions. So a lot of real estate teams and brokerages that we know and that have studied use spreadsheets or whiteboards to really track a lot of this information. And they hold on to that information very tight, because if you have a spreadsheet, you can't really give up control of that spreadsheet, because one person might be able to mess up a formula or add in incorrect data and really not have any auditing capability of that. So when you're able to put in your office, your team, whoever into the system, you're able to really add a user with a very specific set of permissions, whether they can create their own deals, if they can delete them, if they can view certain reports, if they can have a management control over their account, etc. So it's very permission based. Other things, if you are one of these things that we just rolled out is for business planning and goal setting. So you're able to put in your company name, really state the industry that you're in. What is the vision of your organization? What are your values? And what are the focus areas? So the focus areas we'll dive into here in a minute, which really boils down to the areas that the company wants to focus on and metrics and goals that you want to track. So once you do that, you can actually start creating groups off those focus areas. And I can go in and say, for my company, I can set a goal to attain a monthly goal of this is how many closed deals we want for the month. We want 10. We're going to start tracking today or yesterday. Or if we want to increase or decrease our quarterly close volume by 30% or by 30 units or by $1 million, whatever that looks like. And then we have a baseline value to start tracking. And then I can put in the users within my organization that I would like to start tracking these goals. And then they can adjust those to make it optional, automatic, mandatory, or delete that goal. And then I can start breaking down different goals for my company, for marketing, for sales, for training. And this is going to be great for any industry, especially real estate, whether you're an agent, team, brokerage, or real estate coach. So that's a very high level overview of just setting this system up and using it to your advantage. Where dotloop comes into play and this integration is going to be on this board, which we call our deal board. And you can go in and users can go create several different boards for whatever it is they want to see. It's a very filtered system. So you can filter down exactly what it is you want to see, down to the person, the company, individual groups, close of escrow date, keyword, whatever it is that person wants to see and see on that dashboard. They can go and filter that, whether it's their deals, pending deals, team deals, closed deals. It's very, very simple to use and set up. And then I'll kind of circle back here to show you the dotloop integration in about 3 minutes. So looking at the progress metrics, this is where the metrics come into play, where we can start tracking our company goals, our marketing goals, our training goals, whatever it is we want to set up. We can start tracking these and be able to kind of really pay attention to our key performance indicators and track progress and results with key team members within our organization. The dashboard is that culmination of data. It's just ingesting data and presenting it in a way for anybody who is wanting to see this data can structure this board or multiple boards in any fashion they want. They can simply click the pencil, they can name the board, and they can start adding the widgets that they want to see. So when you look at a production widget, the broker, a team leader, an owner, an agent can go in and say, well, my goal for this year to date, or I want 10 deals for $4.5 million in volume, and I only want to look at the closed deals, not all of them. Or I want to look at my entire company or a specific group of team members. Or I want to look at the current year, month, week, whatever it is. It's going to ingest this data and show them in a very simple manner what is happening in their business currently. If they're on a capping model, they can see where they're at in regard to their cap. When I ran real estate offices and we were on a capping system, we would always get questions. Our bookkeeping, our comp controller, our MCA, whoever it was, consistently gets questions on when are we going to cap? How close am I to capping? This puts this right in front of them so they don't have to question that or go to the office and waste resources doing that. They can simply have this data right in front of them all the time. And they can set income goals. So I can set an income goal for my brokerage, for my team, for myself, and say, great, my net goal is X, my GCI goal is X for the current year, month, quarter based on closed transactions. And this will pull in this information. It's going to show me the information that I want to know to be able to work smarter and go, great, my average GCI is this, my average percent is this, my average buyer, my average seller price point is this. My business is on a 50-50 model right now. 50% are sellers, 50% are buyers. And I can adjust these widgets again. And these are based on all statuses. I can go back and say, I only want to look at and filter down these statuses. So the dashboard is really an easy way to manipulate the data and be able to see exactly what it is you want to see. The deal board, this is where this integration with dotloop is just phenomenal. And so I'll kind of walk you through the setup process for your customers and your clients. And we've already written up a great article for you. So this way you guys have the support article to refer to if you need it. So when a user goes into company, they can go to their marketplace. And in our marketplace is the dotloop integration. It is the very first integration that we have completed. And we're super excited about that. So thank you again for the opportunity. So we are going to activate this. And then once this is activated, this is for the company. So if I'm an individual user underneath, say, a brokerage, now that the brokerage has now activated this integration, me as a user can go in and I can go to my apps, and now I can go, great, now I want to connect my dotloop account to dotloop. I want to connect my Zipi account to dotloop. So it's going to make the connections. It's going to validate the credentials, do all that fun stuff. And then it's going to say, great, we want to authorize Zipi to communicate with dotloop and vice versa. So I'm going to click authorize. And then I'm going to go into my dotloop account and click sign in. And then it's going to ask me to verify that I'm okay with this and approve it. I'll hit approve. And then once they have been connected, I can now hit continue. Now the next step is great because now I can select, because I know that, say, a user or a brokerage may have different dotloop profiles. They may have different loop templates for listings and for buyers. So in here, I can go and say, I want to select my default profile, and I want to select, say, my listing template. We didn't create any templates because this is the dotloop demo account. So the dotloop template, I could say listings, and then I can go over here and say, well, maybe I want another default dotloop profile for buyers. And then I can say, well, I'm going to create my template for buyers or for purchases. Then I'm going to go to Zipi. And now this is connected. So what I'm going to do is now go to deals. And within deals, I can say, go to this transaction. Let me open up 529 Anton Oaks Way. And let's say, for example, that this deal is not in dotloop yet. But say it's a buyer, it's active, they're out looking, and we want to get this into dotloop. You see the loop dotloop icon right here, and then it's grayed out. So all a user has to do is click on that icon and click loop it. And then again, it's going to save the dotloop profile and the dotloop template that I selected as the default. If I need to go in there and change those, I can at any given time. And then I'll hit proceed. Oopsie. No template. Oh, I think I have to create a template. I think that's a dotloop permission. So let's try to ingest a transaction. Let's go back. And so what happens is that goes back and it creates a it creates all the information into dotloop, just so you're aware. So it goes and pushes all of that exact same information into dotloop. So now what we'll do is we will go ahead and create a transaction and pull it from dotloop. So whether teams, agents, brokers want to put information into Zipi first for forecasting purposes, tracking purposes, coaching and accountability purposes, they can do that. Or if they want to go and put everything in a dotloop first and pull it into Zipi for tracking purposes and just analytics, say during or after the fact, they can do that. So let's go in and create, and we'll hit from dotloop. So now that we've gone in and we've got pulled it in from dotloop, what it's going to do, it's going to show us all the transactions that are currently in dotloop. So now I can go in and see that this one is with the check marks are ready to go. Now, if there's, say, information missing in the dotloop transaction, it'll say that there's some missing data. Please click here on this same screen and kind of fill in the blanks. You know, if there's something that's required in Zipi that's not required in dotloop, it's going to go in and say, great, just fill in the blanks and then go ahead and sync it. And so once they start syncing it, it will take us back to Zipi once the information from dotloop is now being pulled into Zipi. So now you're going to see that this transaction from dotloop was pulled in 123 Main Street, Roseville, California, by this agent. So it's going to pull in that profile. It's going to show us that it's a seller, that it is on a contract, and it's going to show us this the dotloop icon that is now blue, which means that it is now synced to dotloop. So when we open this up, you're going to see the address, the city, the state, the zip. A client can put in a picture in here if they would like. They can add a external URL if they would like to, like a link to their marketing website, their Google Drive folder with all their listing, say the pre-listing documentation, whatever that is. They can add a link in there. Typically for a marketing site, it's going to pull in the type, buyer, seller, pending, which is the status. And then they can go in and say, I want to add my source of business. This is from a past client. The anticipated sale price was pulled in. The close of escrow date was pulled in. And all the additional fields were pulled in as well. So it's going to show us that the original price was X. The expiration date for this listing is here. The MLS number was here because all this information was put into dotloop. And then this is where a lot of the value comes in for forecasting from a financial standpoint and for commission validation. So a deal owner can go in and see that this information was pulled in from dotloop, and it was a 3% commission with a 25% referral fee. And a team member, say if they had a buyer's agent or a showing specialist, they can go in there and start adding multiple team members and divvying up the split right here on the screen. Or they can go in and say, I have a broker fee of, say, $100, and say I have a TC fee of $200. And then they can hit refresh, and it's going to refresh that true net. And it's going to break down everything line item for them to see, great, I know I have a referral fee going out. If I added team members, it'll show it here. If I had a royalty or my company split, it's here. Any additional incomes or expenses here. And this particular person is budgeting 10% off that net dollar amount, which is the commission check, to taxes and business expenses to give them a true net for the agent. So they know when they get their check, which is here, they know that they can verify it down to the penny and show, great, now my check is incorrect. We've had several testimonials from agents that have cross-referenced their commission check with our system and found errors in their commission check ranging from $400 to $600 on one commission check. And not that a broker was doing it, obviously, with ill will. It's just human error with that many transactions going through, one particular person and verifying this information or relying on the system with verification checks here and there. It's a great way that everybody, we believe, needs to be able to verify and check and balance their commission. So if we're looking at this, they see their commission check and we go, great. Well, now we want to budget for taxes and business expenses and be able to know what our true net is from this transaction. And then we can put in other communication factors, first contacted, last contacted, notes, and we can add the client name, email address, and contact information. One of the values of this system as well is we have an audit history, which makes it, again, valuable, more valuable than a spreadsheet, which hopefully you can see that already, is if you have multiple people working in the system, it's easy for an account owner or administrator to be able to go in and see, ooh, something was changed in the calculation. Who did that? Oh, this person was in this transaction at this date and time, and they changed it, say, from X percentage to, they changed it from 0% royalty to 3% royalty or whatever that may be. So it's a great way for check and balance. And then the last thing we'll go in. So that's really the outcome of how the dotloop integration works. It is extremely powerful. It's very easy to use. We have a lot of training. We have a training video on it. We have a support article on it on our site, and you guys have it on your site as well. And once we start building more and more into it, it's just going to get a lot more intuitive. And we want to be able to automate the process as much as possible. And then the last thing I'll show you here is reports. So from a report standpoint, anybody who is a user in this account can go in and create their own reports. So if they want to create a production year-to-date report, we have several different reporting features where they can go in and see that, oh, hey, so we've made 21,000 GCI from Google. We've brought in one transaction from Google. We want to look at our average commission, so GCI to net for this month. This is all filter based, and you can easily go in and create any particular report that you want. But we're taking this data and giving the end user a very simple way to look at and evaluate what's going on in their business, so they can see past, present, and future what their business looks like, where it's at, and where it's going. So again, dotloop integration is incredibly simple. This is going to be recorded, so we will be able to send this out to you. And this exact same link, I believe, will be the link that you can use to reference and go back to this recording. And then once we can, and you have a video again on your support page. We have one on our support page of the full integration. And again, this is it. I only wanted to take up 20 minutes. I'm already 1 minute over. And I want to thank you all for watching and being a huge advocate of Zipi, being a really amazing partner to Zipi. We appreciate you guys incredibly. And thank you. Reach out to us if you have any questions. It's just support@zipi.app.com. I'm sorry, .com. It's support@zipi.app. Support@zipi.app. Or reach out to me via email. It's just jesse.garcia@zipi.app. So if you guys have any questions, we'll stay on for a little bit. If you want to ask a few follow-up questions or need me to stick around. But at this point, this is the end. If you need to jump off, please jump off. But we'll stick around here for a few moments.